So here we are in Bruges. We have here an exhibition of Ukrainian art from a selection of artists. I will let the organisers tell you all about it. Folks, just introduce yourselves very quickly.
So, my name is Vitaliy Adlermann. I'm a curator, but originally I'm calling myself Ausstellungsmann. So it means someone who makes exhibition. It's outdated term.
My name is Kateryna and I'm also curator, and we are from Kiev originally.
So how many artists are actually represented here this evening? Seven. Yep. And the styles, you curated. So what were you looking for when you chose those 7 artists?
Actually, when I'm working on Kateryna, working on exhibition, we're always firstly thinking about the idea, what someone can bring with him or with her after the visiting of exhibition. So we made a really deep research of Ukrainian art projects which were made for the last 3 years, from the start of full-scale invasion. And we really understood that one of the most iconic problem for Ukrainian art, modern Ukrainian art, it's the war. Because there are a lot of artists which are reflecting these emotions, but these emotions are super fast. And if we want to reflect such trauma like war, it should take some time. I think maybe even 50 or 60 years, because when we are taking a look at the Germany, not all of them really reflected these stories. So we decided to make it really different in other way, let's say. So the name of exhibition is Habitus. And Habitus is a term which was invented and implemented into social psychology by Bourdieu. So, and it means the state of mind. And nowadays, when we've got the full-scale invasion, it is really interesting, and it's one of the top priorities for Europeans to understand what are these Ukrainians are talking about or thinking about. So we took everything, which means modern Ukraine. So we've got some demolished statues, the pictures of them. So we've got food, we've got some naturemort, still lives. So we've got everything, but it's in a really, really different way, because Ukrainians were really deep into classic way of painting. And all these 7 artists, they studied in a classical, how to be, in a classic Soviet manner. And but they had a deep understanding that something goes wrong, and they made everything to be themselves. And nowadays the war is not about Russia or Ukraine. Nowadays the war is about being yourself, always. And when we are talking about political moments, and it's pretty okay and it's pretty understandable, because culture is a politics for me, actually. Maybe it's for someone it can sound like a mistake, but for me, culture is always about the politics. It's just like when I'm joking to my friends, I'm always telling, if you don't like the politics of your government, just open up your fridge. That's the main point, let's say the benchmark of politics in your country. Nowadays we are suffering. But I think that we will go through it, because we are at war with the Russians more for 1,000 years. So for us, particularly, it's even organic. That's all.
If we talk about war and art, let's go back to the 19th century, where war was romanticised, the charge of the Light Brigade and such things. And then if we look at the First World War, which was the first time that, I'm speaking from a British perspective, that well-known artists were at the front recording what they were seeing, and people who were maybe not so well known became famous. This was really like documentary. And when you look at those paintings of the men in the trenches, the blind men with their hands on each other's backs, on each other's shoulders, they've not just recorded the moment, but they've taken the horror as well and put it, the desperation, the despair. What we're seeing now, I think, is more of individual expression. It's the individual's interpretation rather than the actual horror of the moment. What would you say?
But it's not about the war now.
No,
it's
it's not.
about.
It's in the context of war.
But the context always present.
Yes,
Let me help.
I agree. And also, these artworks are not from the 2025 or 2022 only. It's beginning of
From 78.
78, 88, 89, 86, 2001, 3. So basically, it's the historical part of Ukrainian development and in independent times, and it's a vision of this artist, how Ukraine was changed, yeah, and how we changed, and that's why, like Vitaliy said, through portraits or usual day life scenes or still lives, you can see their attitude to life, to religion, to politics, to their land. And this what we say identity, when we know who we are and from where we are and how to use our experience today, even if it's war or when it's war. For us, war started not even in 2014 when they occupied Crimea. It started much earlier. We just didn't accept that. We didn't see that, or not all of us saw that, let's say.
No.
So that's why to make the exhibition about war, to reflect literally on war, means to be weak. Ukrainians are not weak. They're very strong, very self-confident people, and sometimes even maybe people think too much. But Ukrainians, they know who they are, and they knew it for centuries. That's why this exhibition about our habits. We live. Look, go to Kiev. You will see how people live now between the bombing.
Everything looks like this exhibition.
They live their lives.
Yeah,
they
really
haven't-
mixed, just
Yeah.
because now it's 15th, and 2 weeks ago I was in Kiev and I was in charge about the transportation of this exhibition. So we took 5 tons car, and it was really difficult to manage all this stuff because 1 week before there was a huge bombing in Kiev. And in the night, you're feeling this horror. At the day, you gotta go through it. You gotta live your life. Just like there is no other options.
For Ukrainians, no other option. They are living there. We're living with the kids. We're going to the exhibitions opening. They open the galleries. They open theaters.
Yeah, and
Otherwise, we're already done.
a few months ago, we opened a huge exhibition in Modern Art Research Institute in Kiev. So it was pretty big too. I think that it was successful because we found some super duper rare artworks, which even some Ukrainians really forgot that they are existing. Yeah, and sometimes it is really funny because, of course, I'm always talking to these artists, and Kateryna, we're always in contact with them. And Marina Skugarova, now she's in Ukraine. Andrii Zelinskyi, he's in Kiev. Mykola Matsenko in Cherkasy. Oleg Tistol, now he's in Lviv. Yana Bystrova, she lives between New York, Paris, and Kiev sometimes. Dima Shevchenko, he's already dead. Yeah, rest in peace. And he died 3 months before we opened this exhibition. Yeah. And Vinny Reonov, he's in Kiev too. So just for us, it's really important to show not a raped woman or raped kid or death of someone, because art is a miracle
Yeah.
and life is a miracle.
It's about survival spirits,
Yeah,
survival
yeah,
souls,
it should be like
Spirit.
this, you know.
which you always see in Ukrainian art, no matter what period it's from. Ukrainian spirit, Ukrainian
Yeah.
soul. It's a very important part of the art.
These artworks were made, they're conceptual, of course, and they were made by Andrii Zelinskyi, and he made one survival kit and one evolution kit. You know, because it's just two sides of one line. And of course, Ukraine, for a lot of people, looks like Wonderland, because we've had a lot of holes in governmental, in the laws, and a lot of people are using it. So even for some Ukrainians, it looks sometimes like a Wonderland, like it's welcome to Wonderland with the face, which is not usual for this sculpture, but this is the face of Taras Grigorovich Shevchenko. And for us, he is the main writer, the main writer.
Mykola Matsenko. He was born in Cherkasy. They are old friends. So
You gotta understand that every artist over there, they are not a group of artists. They didn't call themselves that we are a group. So they are just friends. But sometimes they are really ideologically close. And I think that this small part of Ukrainian society is just one of the most interesting.